on three. 1, 2, 3.
Win!
The alley-oop!
Hello, Saints fans. Welcome to the Coaches Show. This is your show, an in-depth analysis of St. Martin's men's and women's golf, alongside the head coach for both golf teams and Bahr. And great to have you along again. We look back at GNACs this past weekend. Weather affected both the men and the women, but first we'll begin with the men. So we look at the season that was, a lot of great memories from this year. What stands out through, first things first, the regular season for your men?
Yeah, overall, I think it was a very successful year. I look at where we were a year ago, and I see where we are now, and it kind of exceeded all expectations as far as our year went, and really proud of our guys for buying in. Obviously, a very new team with one returner and 7 new players, and so appreciate them buying in and performing quite well, especially late spring. Performance at Palm Valley was very impressive, and then headed into GNACs, obviously saw some impressive play there as well. So proud of them, appreciate them, and it's a great bunch. We had a lot of fun on the road this year. They're a great group, and definitely looking forward to the future with them for sure. But overall, it was a good year.
How did the transfers from the Rockies make an impact for the program?
Big time. They're huge, both on and off the golf course. Obviously, Gavin Klein played very, very well this spring. He had very impressive performances. Even when, if you ask him, he wasn't super thrilled with how he was hitting the golf ball, the quality of golf shots. So the scores he was able to post, even when he would maybe consider his golf, ball striking pretty poor, it was really, really solid. So very impressed with him. And then Christopher Gunlickson, he just brings just an extra added energy to our program. Made a couple lineups this spring and really solid golfer, an awesome young man, and very excited to have him as a part of our program.
Now, as we look at the past weekend up in Idaho with the GNAC tournament, although weather played a role, still several positives to take away from the past weekend from your side, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing a new golf course for these guys, for most of them, is always can be a challenge at first. Coeur d'Alene has its own unique strengths, and there's some holes out there that are pretty challenging. So making sure that I prepare us well at home and playing a few different golf courses, I think will be key next year, just to see courses that are kind of similar in setup to that Coeur d'Alene course. But weather was very challenging. It was extremely cold. Day one, winds were gusting 30-40 miles an hour coming off of the lake, and so it definitely plays a factor in the physical and mental fatigue on the golf course. But proud of them for gritting it out. 36 holes that day one. Carter Sheets really shined in the second round with a 67. Ended up being the low round for the tournament as a whole, in arguably some of the hardest conditions. So was really impressed with him, and his finish was so good. He had not a bad front nine. It was just kind of steady, and then he just lit it up on the back. Absolutely lit it up. So it was really cool to see a bit of it. But then to get to congratulate him afterwards was really cool. And then Gavin Klein continued to play very, very steady golf. Obviously top finisher for our team that last week. And Rasmus Tamker had a hand. Really every player on our roster had a hand in our team score last week, including Henry Sanders. His score as a freshman counted as well for a round, which is great. And then Davis Sheets rounded out our lineup as well. So Coeur d'Alene's a tough test of golf. It rewards good ball striking, and so we'll be doing our best to prepare really well for it next year. But I was proud of their accomplishment, and I think they should be proud of themselves as well, and just looking forward to seeing what they can do in the future.
For you personally, first year in charge of the men's program, what did you learn? What did you take away for you personally as a coach?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I've certainly had my fair share of working with high level amateur and professional men's golfers in the past, and so it was just a great transition into the men's team. I really appreciated them, accepting me and buying into what we're trying to build here at St. Martin's again with the men's program. It's been pretty successful in the past, so want to keep it going, of course. We had fun. They pushed my buttons from time to time, but I definitely appreciated they listen to what I have to say on the golf course, especially, and in practice as well as far as swing work goes. But when it comes to the Coeur d'Alene course, I know a lot about that golf course. I've been there since 2019, and it's a great track. And so I can't thank them enough for having fun on and off the golf course. And it's been a lot of fun to get to work through golf shots, through swing development, whatever it might have been for each player this year, at a very high level. So I've enjoyed it greatly.
A lot to enjoy for St. Martin's men's golf. But look at the future, although early this past year, maybe a little bit of a different story about how things would pan out. But now it seems as if the future seems to be very bright for St. Martin's men's golf.
Absolutely. We're not losing anybody off of our current roster, so everyone's going to return next year. Carter's coming back for a final year. Christopher will also be in his final year of eligibility. So really grateful to have them back as well. And then we'll have at least 2 freshmen joining us, one from California and the other one from kind of the greater Vancouver area. And I'm really excited about both of them and really excited about the future of the program. I think the lineups are going to get harder and harder to make, which makes my job challenging trying to find a lineup. But when it's a deep roster like that, I think it breeds and builds success. So looking forward to that. I think the guys are looking forward to it as well. And it's nice to look back on this year and then also look ahead to next as well.
And it might be a tougher job for you, but it's a good problem to have, too.
Absolutely.
As we look towards women's golf this past weekend, this season, historic year for the program, a lot to unpack. First, the regular season. Coach, you already have a smile. You're smiling ear to ear. What have you enjoyed with this women's team this year?
On both sides, genuinely, the men's and the women's, this has been my favorite year thus far, coaching. It's been remarkable, and I hope the women's team, I hope they're proud of themselves for what they accomplished this year. My hope is we're changing the future of St. Martin's golf here, and this lays the groundwork for what we accomplished this year. They should be so proud of themselves. A tournament win, and then obviously we won our 2 dual matches as well. Multiple rounds under par, multiple rounds at par. It just... when we look at the year, I don't think I could have asked for any better now looking back, and we're not quite done yet. But it was just a phenomenal year on and off the golf course. I had the most fun with the ladies I have had in the past 3 as a head coach, but then potentially 6 overall as well. It was a blast.
What a blast it was. And you talk about individual performances at GNAC, although sure the conditions weren't the finest, still plenty of highlights to take away.
Yeah, I give the ladies extra kudos. It's really tough to stand on that first tee and have the wind blowing like it is. On the first tee at Coeur d'Alene, there's a very large flagpole to the left of us, and that American flag was going almost straight out for the men and the women. And so just give them kudos. I just told them stay patient. We kind of have to get through those first real 6 holes of the golf course, hopefully as unscathed as possible. They're very challenging. And then we can kind of attack 7 through 18 a little bit better. But they really played quite well. I think there's a lot to be proud of. I mean, Hannah White finishing out her career as a Saint on a very high note. She should be super proud of herself, and she played really well this spring, and I can't thank her enough for continuing to keep the pedal down when it gets hard your senior year, having all these different things pushing you in different directions. So I really appreciated that. And then Ashley Brulin found her form. I mean, they were striking it so well in the practice round and both days of tournament play, and I just, she actually shot 2 under in her final 9, and just really finished on such a high note and can't ask for better there. Haley continues to learn as a freshman and grow and be involved in a very close-knit team, which was great. And Jade brings the smiles and the energy all the way through, which I appreciated. And then, of course, there's Kelsie. And I'm so proud of Kelsie, and I'm really glad that we're not done yet for her, just because the final round 72 that she put out easily could have been lower. I mean, she's hitting the ball so good, and it's a testament to the challenge that Coeur d'Alene is in the golf course. But just really proud of her and the team as a whole. Can't thank them enough. It was an awesome year.
What a year. And as we look towards Kelsie Inouye and her making it to the regional tournament down in Amarillo, Texas, you'll be heading out on Saturday out to Western Texas. And for you, Coach, what does it mean to see the success that Kelsie has, being the first golfer in St. Martin's women's golf's history since 2016 in order to make it to regionals? How special is that?
Yeah, really special. I think to make it at an at-large individual bid to regionals is a huge accomplishment. I mean, you really have to play well all year long because it gets so tight with scoring averages, and you can't even really have a tournament that goes poorly.
Yeah.
You kind of have to play well all year long, and so I just think it's a testament to all of her work this year, but then her success on and off the golf course. She's played so well. 2 Player of the Week awards, top 10 at conference, had one of the lowest scores of the week without even par 72 in the final round. And so really proud of her. Not only, I mean, she made it like with a stamp on it almost. It was, the 4 seed out of 6, and she's just playing so great. And can't wait to get to Amarillo and see the golf course. I think her and I are both really excited, and just to experience it. This is my first experience at regionals in the last 6 years. So, and first player to make it since 2016. And we'll kind of soak it in and see what we can do. You never know. We got nationals after that, and we'll go out there, do our best, and have fun along the way. So looking forward to it.
We'll look forward to next week down in Amarillo, Texas, and get ready for the humidity. It is heaping down there.
Yeah.
I can attest to that personal experience. But with that story, look at next week. We'll have GNAC awards announced throughout the course this week. We'll bring you up to date on those on a future edition of the Coaches Show. Should be fun to highlight all the great accomplishments for the golfers for St. Martin's men's and women's program coming up soon. That's all the time that we have for the Coaches Show. For head coach Ann Bahr, I'm Danny DeBock saying so long and take care. And as always, it's a great day to be a Saint.